In the afternoon, I'm going to be doing a quick meal for dinner. At night, I'm going to be doing a ad for, some new program that I'm trying to get people to get interested in. So I know what I'm doing morning, noon, and night. So
Okay.
no more guessing. It's easy to keep track.
Can you snapshot it for me just so I have an idea of the topics that you're doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna actually put this in a Word document for you guys. I'm gonna set it up so you can see what I'm doing. If you want, I mean, you probably can't steal exactly what I'm doing because
No, I don't want to steal it. I want to see like
there's some things I don't
the
mind.
categories. Like how broad are your categories?
Yeah.
Is it always about exercise and fitness? Is it
No,
random stuff just to keep it fun? What?
I'm actually doing some fun stuff that you'll see. I mean, it's hard for me to go into it right now because I don't want to. And we have the other call with Kim at 9. So
yeah,
that's definitely. I'm going to type this up. I'm going to actually show you guys my outline, and I'm telling you, it has been my salvation. Like I feel so much calmer now. I actually have a pattern. Like I know Mondays like this, Tuesdays are these kind of posts, and I don't have
that's
to work.
perfect. That is perfect. That's great.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna wait like a couple more minutes so we don't hear the doorbell thing.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to the call.
We're in early. All right.
I'm in my car waiting for my kids. They're in Chipotle.
I just know my house is clean. I'm very excited.
And so you go through the drawers and open the closets, right?
It smells good in here.
So it looks like I did screw up, Heather. It looks like I posted.
You use Kim's link, yeah.
Like, I'm on. Oh, not my first Jedi blooper. I'm on the wrong Zoom link. Okay.
It's all good.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least all the potential coaches know we all have fun. So I'm going to start. The recording actually already started, which is good. They'll know that we laugh a lot because we do. I have like a hair in my lipstick. So I used to do these. So thank you for everybody who's on the call who's thinking about being a coach. Hopefully our goofiness, you're like, these people aren't serious, and you hung up. But I used to do these like corporate kind of opportunity calls, and then I was like, wow, those are kind of like the opportunity calls that I used to go to, and I used to be like, what are these people talking about? So I kind of like have just shared from my heart. I want to tell you my story, what are companies like, what we do and how we do it, and how we get compensated for it. And hopefully that will answer your questions, or you'll feel a little more confident about what you might be signing on for. And hopefully we'll have some new people join our group. So, and I muted you all. So if you have a child that's being loud or anything else like that, you don't have to worry because everybody's muted. It probably will be my child though that'll come in here screaming. But so I did mute everybody. So at the end, I'm going to unmute it so that if you have a question, I always have like a question answer session. So my story is, I actually came into Beachbody not knowing that Beachbody was like an actual company. I used to watch the infomercials and things like that, and I ordered Insanity. And I ordered Insanity off of Amazon, and I never did the program. And when I did do it, I did like the 3 hardest ones, and then I wondered why I couldn't walk the next day, and I would quit. And so I started looking on Facebook, and I came across my coach. And when I came across my coach, I necessarily wasn't looking for a coach. I was just in a time in my life where I was extremely unhappy. I was kind of always an athlete, so I was never like have an overweight story, but I had battled depression. I was a bulimic for most of my life. And at that time, I just hit like kind of like bottom. And in what I mean by like rock bottom is I really did get to the point where I was like, this is what life's about. Like after 40, like it just sucks and you just get through it. And, you know, there's no use in looking for happiness because it's really not out there. And it's kind of like, now I think of that, it's kind of a sad place to be. And so when I saw my coach, I saw that she just looked happy. And if you don't know who my coach is, she's fit and funky, and she's Shaun T's best friend. But I didn't know that. And honestly, I saw a friend of mine post on her picture, and she just looked happy. She just had this big smile on her face. And something in her, I just kind of like started following her. And so I started doing Insanity again, and I started like sending her my pictures, like I did, you know, like Insanity today, whatever. And she was really nice, and she would answer me back and stuff. And she invited me to her group. And what's interesting is she never asked me to buy anything. She just invited me to her group. She said, you know, hey, I'm starting this group. I think you'd be great. I think you should do it. And I did. And my husband thought I was crazy because he was like, wait, you're going to be in this online group and nobody knows you, and you're going to share all this information. You got to take before pictures and all this other stuff. And I was like, yes. And I'm going to do everything. I'm going to do everything my coach says for the next 30 days. And, you know, I had this history of starting things and being very excited and then quitting. And so my husband was like, sure you are, honey. Sure you are. You're sure you're going to stick with this for 30 days. And let me tell you something. I stuck with it for 30 days. I love the process of the online group because for the once in my life, I felt like I could be who I really was. And it was the first time I had shared with people that I had bulimia. It was the first time I shared with people that like I screwed up. And not only did I screw up, but then there was other people going, I screwed up too. And then it was like, it's okay though, because tomorrow we're going to start all over again. And it was like, that was like life altering for me because I had gone through life thinking if I screw up, I am a screw up. And so that whole concept was amazing to me. And so I kind of loved it. And I kind of started being a leader in the group. I kind of started, you know, learning more about eating and stuff like that. So I would help a lot of the ladies in my group and stuff. And so my coach is like, you should be a coach. And I'm like, oh no. And she's like, no, really. She goes, at least you would save money on what you're doing. And I'm like, no. And so, I don't want to spend all this time talking about myself, but it happened. And I truly believe in energy. And I believe that people come into your life for a certain reason. And my husband and I went on a business trip with him to Boston. And, you know, Boston's like a huge airport. Well, my coach happened to be in Boston Airport, Logan Airport at the same time. And she said to me, you know, hey, let's try to meet together. And I was like, sure. And it wound up that we got caught in traffic, and I texted her and I was like, you know, I just don't think it's going to happen and we're behind. And she's like, don't worry about it, whatever. Well, it turns out I walk into Logan Airport, the same door that she was walking out of. And if you know how huge that airport is, how strange that is. And she didn't tell me that she was traveling with Shaun T. And so I got to meet Shaun T. And, you know, I was telling him about like his program and all this other stuff. And so I just said to myself, you know, if that's not a sign that I should do this, I should sign up to be a coach, I don't know what is. And so that night, and it's actually coming up, my 3-year anniversary, August 22nd, I signed up to be a coach. And I didn't know what I was doing. My husband was like, well, how do you make money? And what is this? I'm like, I don't know. I just want to help people. And it was funny because now I feel like I really do tell my coaches, like, this is how this business works and this is how you become successful. Because if you don't know, you could spend a lot of time like I did, like 5 months, like not knowing what the heck you're doing and stuff. So that's how I became a coach. I still don't think I'm perfect. I actually kind of like flaunting that I'm not perfect. For so long, I used to try to become perfect. And now the fact that I share that I'm not perfect, I think people like me better and they relate to me. And for me, like, this whole business has always been about, man, like, you think you're a failure, you are so not a failure. Like, wait till I tell you about what this business is about and what we're all about and the products that I'm going to show you, because I'm telling you, it's going to make your life easier. So for me, like, that's it. And so I also wanted to tell you about, that's my story. I wanted to tell you, well, I should tell you where it ended up, right? So 3 years later, I'm an elite coach. I'm an 8-star diamond coach, and I have a 2-star diamond coach in my second business center. And basically what those diamonds mean are, those diamonds are people, and they're leaders. And so hopefully that tells you that our organization has grown some leaders. And then that elite status, only a certain amount of coaches, I think there was like only 199 out of 300,000 get that distinction. And it's basically, how many people you've helped, how successful you've made your coaches, and really how successful you've made your newer coaches, and stuff like that. So last year, I say it's me, but it's not me, it's my team. I think last year we ended up as number 28 out of 300,000 coaches. So that's pretty cool. So that's my story. And so I wanted to tell you a little bit about Beachbody too, because Beachbody is a multi-level marketing company. And I know for some people that's scary, because I know I've had my own issues with multi-level marketing companies. Like 10 years ago, my husband and I were invited to like some fancy doctor's house in a mansion. And it was like, what are we doing here? And we were just kind of told like, hey, sign up, be a distributor, you'll make lots of money. And I think it was like $1,000 to join, something crazy, something we didn't have. And we did. And we fell for it. And the person who signed us up, like, I think the only time he checked on us to see if we did our order, and things like that. So, we kind of got out of it. So I completely understand why people are a little hesitant, a little worried about multi-level marketing companies. But I actually want to tell you that how we're different. And we are different, significantly different, because most multi-level marketing companies are based upon distributors, meaning that they need people to come in and buy products and be distributors. And when they come in as distributors, they often make them carry a lot of overhead, a lot of inventory, things like that. And so the whole reason for the company is just so that they have distributors buying their product. And Beachbody is different because Beachbody has a whole segment of the company that is not coach related, it's customer related. And so if our coaching network like went away tomorrow, Beachbody would be fine, because they make lots of money, and they were actually making lots of money before they brought this coaching network into being. And so why did they bring this coaching network into being? They brought it in because how many times have you bought a fitness program, or you've bought in like a diet program? Like, does Jenny Craig call you and go, we want to know how that's going for you? Like when you buy like, like the ab extender or whatever, like, do they call you and go, we really want to know how that's going for you? And so no one does. And so what Carl Deichler had said was, we were glad that we're selling all these programs, but we want to know if people are being successful. And what happened was they realized that why not take the people who use the products, get results from them, be these kind of concierge to these programs for them, so that they can help them be like, you know what, this is what you need to do if you can't do this. And we don't want them to be experts, because we handle the science with our meal plans, and we handle the science with our trainers. We just want people to be friends with people, like, and just give them a buddy so that they get up every day and they get their workout in and they inspire people. And so that's where the Coaching Network came in, and we truly, truly are different. And one of the reasons I know we're different is because I talk to so many people who come from other multi-level marketing companies. And so when I tell them how they join, they're like, wait a minute, that's all I have to do to join? I don't have to continually buy all this product and stuff. And I'm like, no. I'm like, why do they make you do that the other places? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, wow, okay. I'm like, no, we're just interested in that you get what you need for your own health and fitness, and then you simply help other people. And if this isn't right, you can quit. You don't sign a contract you sign a contract, but it's not like, you have to stay for an extended period of time. Like literally you can call and actually they've changed things so that if you call that same day and you want to quit, you have quit. We used to make people wait 3 days. No, you want to quit, you can quit, no problem. So that's my story. That's the Beachbody story. So let's talk about what we do. So a lot of people are like, I'm not an expert. I'm not a nutritionist. Heck, I'm not even at my goal weight. Like, how am I going to be a coach? And so what I like to tell people is being a coach is simply being somebody who is on a journey. And what most people don't realize is that people don't want perfect people to help them. I don't know about you, but if I had somebody who was my coach who was perfect, who didn't have any problems, who always looked perfect, I really don't know what she would do with me. Like, what could she help me with, And so what people don't realize is that when they see people just like them, getting results, looking happier, looking like, I don't know what's going on with her, but something's going on. And whatever she's doing, I want to do. And so that's essentially what happens as a coach. And so I have some of my coaches that are my most successful coaches that are in the middle of their weight loss journey. I have a coach that's lost 140 pounds. And she still has 70 more to go, but she is, like a leader on our team. So you don't have to be a certain size, a certain look, or anything. The only thing you do have to be is you have to be kind. You have to have your interest in other people. Oftentimes, if you come into this business with your own goals, meaning like, I want to be a diamond coach, or I want to make this much money, and I want to, if that's how you're going to lead your career, unfortunately, you're really not going to find success, because the success in this business is really based upon how well you help others. And so in order to do that, you need to be a good listener. You need to really thoughtfully help people. You need to really care about people. And so when people come to me about this business opportunity, because it is an amazing business opportunity, when they start telling me like they want to make money and they want to do this and they want to do that, that kind of like makes me like, okay, because you're not going to make a ton of money when you first start this business. And I would like to say that like right off the bat. And if that, if that makes you say, you know what, see you later, Kim, that's fine, because that's kind of not how I built my organization. And I do have successful people in my organization. I myself am a 6-figure earner. Something I never did, like even when I was a teacher with 10 years experience with a master's degree, and stuff. So there is definitely income opportunities for you. But if you come into this business thinking that that's all you're going to focus on, that's not really going to help you, because the way you become successful in this business is truly having other people's needs, and really being out there to help, and really being passionate about the programs. It's really hard for you to help people and to attract people if you're not using the product, if you don't think like they're the best things in sliced bread, and things like that. And so I always like my coaches who come into our organization to be using our products, to get relief from them, to feel amazing, because that in itself is actually going to bring a lot of people in attracting you to, I've had a lot of my coaches and a lot of my customers, people come up to them. They're like, hey, what are you doing? Because you look different. Like, what's going on? And stuff like that. And that just simply comes from being a product of the product is what we call it. So how do we do it? So how do we become this Beachbody coach? So basically, we have 3 vital behaviors that we've written into our company. And the reason we've written them into our company is because we have found that they've been successful. And so the first thing is we want you to be a product of the product. And a product of the product means that we want you to be using the product. We want you to be getting results from the product. And we want you to love the product, really. And so with that, when people see you and people see that, you're on your journey, you're enjoying your journey, you are, sharing your journey, that's what that's about, that product of the product. Oftentimes people think that that means they have to be the after product. But more times out of not, what you're going to find is that you are going to attract people during your journey, because so many people are so afraid to start. And when they see you in the midst of your journey, that can give them the confidence they need to start. And so the next thing is we call inviting. And inviting is like a scary word. And so when we talk about inviting, I don't want you to think that you're going to be like, hey, do you want to try this Shakeology? Hey, do you want to try this program? That's not what we're about. I don't know if that's how they do sales or whatever. I've never been a salesperson. I'm a teacher. That's how I was trained. But basically, it's just getting to know people, having more conversations, and more conversations like in your everyday life. I know I have 2 young boys, so I meet people from school. I meet people, I'm involved in politics, so I meet people there. I just talk to people like in the supermarket. And I don't want you to think that I am like this outgoing person, because I am not this outgoing person. Although I can handle a call like this because of the third thing I'm going to tell you about. But, it's just really having more conversations and really listening. You really do have to listen, so that when people come and they ask you like, hey, Kim, what are you doing? What's this 21-day fix? My thing is not to just say, oh, the 21-day fix has containers and this and that. I don't do that. For me, I'm like, well, what are your goals? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to lose weight? Are you trying to just eat healthier? And then they answer me, and then I will ask them like, what does your diet look like? What does your nutrition look like? And they will answer me again. And then I'll say, what does your day look like? Like, do you work? Do you have kids? That kind of thing. And the reason is because if I don't know that stuff, there is no way that I can recommend our products or even know what's going to help them. And so being a good listener is probably one of the most important things you probably need to do. And so the next thing is we call it self-development. And the reason is because we believe, or the company believes, that happy, positive people bring in happy, positive people. And I can tell you that I am extremely grateful that this company has made us do self-development. I honestly don't understand why other companies don't tell their employees to do it. I'm thinking because maybe their employees won't stay employees. But I can tell you, for me, 3 years ago, I would have never been able to do a phone call like this. I would have never been able to go out and have conversations or speak on stage. And that all comes from doing personal development, 10 minutes a day, being positive, that kind of stuff. Like, I used to think all that stuff was really hokey. I used to think, like my view of the world, that I was a tough girl and, I was tougher than the world. And I used to believe that the world kind of attacked me rather than me being proactive in the world. And self-development really has changed my perspective. And what I like about this company is because they have taught me that I'm a better mother, I'm a better spouse, I'm a better friend, I'm a better daughter, And so when I have coaches come in, whether they want to make this a business or whether they want to just do this as, something for fun or whatever, being a part of this business is going to change them, and it's going to change them more in the positive, and it's going to enhance other areas of their life. And so those are what we do and what we do in helping and things like that. So the next question is like, well, how do you do it, Kim? And the thing is that other people have different ways of doing this. For instance, some of my coaches choose to work one-on-one with their people, meaning that somebody will buy something from them and then they choose to stay one-on-one with them, just checking in, which is fine. Most of us use some sort of social media, like Facebook or Instagram, and then we use like things like Facebook to create these online groups. And basically, it's just an online group where the people who've purchased from you are in there. It's closed, it's private. And you go in there every day and you kind of just, some people are just in there sharing their workout. Maybe I tend to do a lot of personal development for people because I believe there's a connection between what people think mentally and what they do physically. And so the greatest thing is that you can design how you want to help your customers however you want. If you want to get on the phone with them every week and check in with them, that's completely fine. If you want to run this business that you help people build businesses, that's fine too. If you want to do these online groups in Facebook, that's fine. I can tell you, for most of my new coaches, I don't expect them to just jump in and learn everything right away. So I handle a lot of the training for coaches. I handle the challenge groups. So a lot of my new coaches will put their customers in my challenge group so that they can watch how it is. Some of my coaches are like, I don't need your help, Kim. I'm going to go out and I'm going to do this. And mostly because they've been in a challenge group with me already, so they're familiar with it. And so that's kind of how we do it and stuff. And so the next question is compensation. So because that's always a big, big question. And so the way you're compensated by Beachbody is a lot of different ways. The first way is going to be through retail sales. And when you first come into the company, that's probably where you'll make your most money, is in retail sales. And retail sales means that you are going to make 25% commission on anyone that buys anything from you. So whether they buy a jump rope or whether they buy a challenge pack or whether they buy a program or whether they buy our shake, you make 25% off. Another way you make money in our business is through bonuses. And those bonuses come in some different ways. And so the first bonus that you make is if you sign a coach with a challenge pack. Now, I want to say this because I think it speaks of our company. A challenge pack is Shakeology, a month of Shakeology in a program. That program is the same price whether you choose to come into our company as a coach or whether you choose to come into our company as a customer. And I think it's important because I know in other kind of companies, right, you make more money if somebody comes in as a coach. So you don't make more money in our company if somebody comes in as a coach. It's just basically how it kind of looks in your paycheck. So you'll get paid the same amount of money. It'll just be either retail or it'll be either in a bonus. So I think that's important to know. The next way we make money is something called a team bonus cycle. Now, this is a little confusing, so I'm going to try my best to explain it. So let's just say you're at the top and you have two legs like this. All right. Once you put one person on one leg and one person on the other leg, you've hit your first rank. And those people, what they sell or what they buy becomes part of your team cycle. Now, the cool thing about our company is some of those people on that leg are not people that you've brought in. They're people I brought in. They're people my other coaches have brought in, which is really great. And it's the reason why we work as a team, right? Because we all want to help each other. And so when you get a certain amount of points on one side, you have to have a certain amount of points on another side. And then you do something called a team cycle. And depending on your rank is how much you get paid for those cycles. Now, your first cycle as an emerald rank when you first come in is $14 a cycle. And I'm going to tell you off the bat, you are not going to make a ton of cycles. It's not like you're going to be like, wow, you're not. But when you get to some place where I am, when you've successfully brought coaches in, and helped them, and that they have found success, that's actually going to be the huge part of your paycheck now. Even though I do still have a lot of retail, that is a large part of my paycheck. But the cool thing about it is the larger my paycheck is, means that the larger my coaches' paychecks are, because that's how it's based on. And I think it's kind of like a checks and balances kind of thing. So, and, even though I might have been the person that brought you in, that doesn't mean that there might be one day where you make more money than me because you have been more successful than me. So that's kind of what I like. Some of our top coaches have actually outperformed their coaches who have sponsored them, just because maybe they're a better leader or they brought in, different people or things like that. So my reason in telling you that is I never want you to think that there's a lid on you, or that somehow if I bring you into this company or somebody else is, that they're always destined to make more money than you, because that's not true. Your destiny is your own, and how you build your team, and your potential in this business is unlimited. And I always like to be very honest. Most people are not making huge amounts of income, but there are people who are making huge amounts of income, and there are people who are replacing their full-time salaries. I can tell you I have 4 coaches that have quit jobs from being dental hygienists, court reporters, teachers. I have somebody who used to work for the state of New Jersey, who used to be an accountant for there. So there is potential to leave your full-time career and replace it with Beachbody. And the greatest thing is that even though we work hard, it's not a 8-hour-a-day job. And it's definitely a job where you can do anywhere. I work, as long as I actually have my phone or my computer that I can work anywhere. And it's allowed us a lot of freedom. I have 2 boys. So it's really important for me that I am able to go on field trips with them, that I am able to, pick them up from school, take them to school. I'm home with them all summer, which has been good. But it's really allowed us as a family to design a life that fits for us, because my husband travels a lot. So if I was to take another job that would physically require me to be somewhere, that would kind of upset the balance of our family, because they already have one parent who's kind of traveling all the time. And so this job, this career has worked amazingly for us. I feel like I'm a better mother, a better spouse, a better person, a happier person. And it's all because of this opportunity. And what I love about it is that I get to be surrounded by people who truly love what they do, who are positive. I used to work in a school, and I was grateful that I had some good teachers that I worked with, but it was pretty toxic atmosphere. People were always complaining. There was no respect for what we did as teachers. Somebody was always telling us what to do, and it never was good enough. And so when I wanted to have a career, I didn't want to go back to that kind of toxic lifestyle where people were telling me what to do and when to do it and how to do it. And then I was surrounded by people who didn't want to be there to begin with. And so this opportunity definitely is a positive one. One of the things that I'm proud of as the founder of the Fitspire Empire is that we're all positive, and we all come from different walks of life. We look different, we act different, but we all have the same mission, and that mission is to help as many people as possible. So as hokey as that sounds, it's really what we're all about. And we unapologetically tell people that, that we're here to help people. So hopefully there was something in this story that stood out to you or you could relate to. And if you have any other questions, you can ask your coach who invited you on this call. I'm actually going to take people off, unmute all. Oh, actually, let me talk more about compensation because I didn't finish. And so you have commissions, you have team bonus, and then you have to get into something called company bonuses. And you start to earn company bonuses when you create 2 leaders on your team. And basically what it is they're quarterly bonuses. And let's say Beachbody made $27 million in a quarter. I actually don't know how much they make. I should, but I don't. And so what they do is they break a percentage of that, and then they break that down even further to how many 2-star coaches they have, how many 5-star coaches, how many 10-star coaches. And so last week, I was given a bonus of, it amounted to $8,000 in a week. And I don't say that, because that sounds sexy and it took me 3 years to get that bonus. But, I've never made that kind of money in a week. And I certainly didn't make that kind of money when I was doing the most noblest of jobs, being a teacher, because people didn't feel that I was worth that kind of money. And so it's nice to be compensated in a job where you truly are helping people and you get to determine your worth, not anybody else and stuff. And so that's another way we're compensated. And then we're also compensated by trips. So if you hit a certain amount of points every month, you earn your way onto trips. I've done a cruise. I went to Mexico, Cancun. I've gone to leadership. I'm going to leadership retreat in San Diego. I've been on a leadership retreat in Arizona, Scottsdale. So Beachbody really does an amazing job with recognition and really treating us well. If you follow me on social media, for our elite coaches, they gave us our own guitar, which is pretty crazy. And so they really do a great job of making you feel important, making you feel like you matter to them. And, I've had the opportunity to talk to our CEO several times, and man, if that man told me to go climb the building, I would climb the building. That's how much I believe in him. And he truly is one of the good guys in the world and stuff. So I've talked a lot. I always tell my coaches, don't talk too much. And then I do these calls and then I talk too much. So I'm going to take everybody on mute. And so if you have a question, I can answer it.
Silence.
No question. Well, if no one. Oh, that's my feed. If no one has a question, thank you so much for being here. You have a question. We'll get in touch with you. We'll talk about what you not have a question. But thank you so much for taking the time out. tonight.